Hey y'all, it's Jan, Simply Jan Homestead. Today, we're gonna make pigs in the blanket, but there ain't no pig in it. Just saying. Hey y'all, it's Jan, Simply Jan Homestead. Well, I just thought I recorded this whole thing, but I did not. I didn't push the button, and you have to look and make sure it's recording. So today, we're making stuffed cabbage, and I'm going to show you how. It's so easy and so delicious. So let me go over the ingredients. I'm going to sort of blow through this, but you'll get it. I won't talk too fast. Okay, we're going to use parsley, garlic powder. Oop. Oh, I flipped it around. Hold on, guys. Italian seasoning, just a little bit of that. Salt, pepper, Mrs. Dash, and I like to kick it up a notch, so I put red crushed pepper flakes in, some basil I dehydrated, breadcrumbs, 1 egg, farm fresh egg is best, and 2 cups of rice cooked halfway, and then 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of hamburger meat. I sauteed some onions because I like onions in there. I've already mixed this up, y'all. So you put your seasonings on the meat. You put your egg, put a little, a little dip in here, right there. Put your egg there. Sprinkle some Italian crumbs or panko on it. If you're gluten-free, you could get gluten-free panko. And put that on just a little bit over the top to your liking. It acts as a binder, so does the egg, and so does the rice. Make sure you do not cook the rice all the way. So you're going to mix all those ingredients together, and then I just set that aside. Okay, cooling off my rice. Now what I've done is I've cored a head of cabbage. You get a pot of boiling water, and you can see maybe, nope, can't see, well, right there would be the core. So I just put that in the water, probably about 5 minutes, and the leaves will tear off, as I showed you over here. And just pull them off. I set them aside so they can cool off and they won't burn your hands when you're doing everything. So after you've got all your ingredients in your hamburger with your egg, with your breadcrumbs, just mix that up. And Worcestershire sauce too. Just put some Worcestershire to give it some flavor. Not too much though. And then I take a can of tomato sauce, and you could use puree, a can of puree. I use tomato paste, and mix that together. If you have an aversity to acid, you can put a couple teaspoons of sugar in the mix, which is what I do because Kevin has a problem with acid in the tomatoes. And then you're going to take a thin layer after you spray your pan, put a thin layer on your pan, and then you're going to roll up your your hamburger into your cabbage, and I'll show you how to do that as soon as the rice has cooled down. So I'll be back. Okay, y'all, the rice is cooled. I did not use the whole 2 cups of rice, but I mixed it in with the hamburger. So what you're gonna do is let me move this plate over. You're gonna get one of your cabbage leaves and lay it out, and then you're gonna take a little clump of your meat, and I like to shape it like that. And then you're just going to roll it up, and you have a little little piece like that. I think I'll put mine in that way. If you have a big piece of hard core on the end, you can take a knife and just cut that end off, y'all, and then eat it. You don't want it to waste. So the outer pieces that I have, when I first undo the cabbage, you always take the outer pieces off, and I put those in my compost. Now, what if you're making this and your leaf has a hole in it? Well, what you do is you take another, like this one's got a little hole up here. Whoops, sorry. Right there. And you just take another leaf of cabbage and put it in there. So I'm going to roll all these up, and I'll be back and I'll show you what to do next. Bye. Okay, y'all. So we've got our cabbage rolls made, and now it's time to put the sauce on it. So let me turn you around. Alright, so here's our cabbage rolls. That's what it's going to look like. I used all the cabbage. And maybe for a pound of meat, you only need a cup and a half. But then you're going to take your sauce, and you're just going to put it over the top. I'm trying to do two things at one time. I'm not doing very good. Okay, so you're just going to put it over the top. I like to spoon mine on so I can get it in there real good. And then I cook mine at 350 for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, because remember, you're having to cook the rest of the rice up. So just keep that in mind. And then, you know, within an hour, 45 minutes actually, I think is probably better. Everything, your cabbage is going to cook super fast, and, you know, it'll, the only thing you're waiting on is the rice. So you don't want to cook the rice all the way, because if you do, trust me, it's going to be sticky and nasty and mushy. And I didn't tell you, but if you want, you can roll your cabbage roll sort of like a taco and fold it in. And, you know, sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. I just, you know, we want to keep this simple, guys. You know, don't get OCD on yourself. Just keep it simple. And then once I get all the sauce in there and get all that goodness on there, I'm going to add a few more seasonings on top, because I like extra flavor. I don't like bland food. I like it to have flavor. Next time I'll shoot with my camera. I just had a whim to do this because, you know, I get tired of eating the same old thing, don't y'all? And I remember my mother making this, and my mom was a good cook. Ooh, she had 6 children and a husband. Let me tell you, she had to switch it up a lot because we were pretty demanding. Okay, so I've got all that on. I'm going to add a little more garlic powder on top. I'm going to add, I use Mrs. Dash. This one, I've used it for years. And I guess I can make my own. I just haven't started dehydrating again. And then I'm going to put some parsley flakes on it. And let me open this cap, because you know those little shakers, they don't come out fast enough for me. I like parsley. So I'm going to put it on top and make it a little pretty. And then the other thing is I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more Italian seasoning. Now, don't go overboard with your Italian seasoning, guys, because it is strong. Just a little shake. All right, so there you have it. I'm a little early for supper, so I probably won't put this in the oven for another hour or two. And I'm just going to wait until my honey is about to come home and surprise him with something different. He loved this. I made it for him before, and he just loved it. So I'm sure he'll be excited to have something different. I'm going to make some more yogurt too, y'all. I mean, we blew through that yogurt. So this time, Six Sisters, she did it with condensed milk. So it probably makes it a little sweeter. And I'm sure it adds some sweetness. And I have to admit that I would have liked to have some sweetness, even though I used some honey. But I'm going to see what that recipe turns out like, and I'll let y'all know if it was any good. I'm not going to film it, though. I'm just going to make it and eat it, because that's what I do. Hey, y'all. I hope you have a blessed day, and love well. Bye.